Ahmer here. So today I wanted to talk about some more video game pickups that I scored from my local GameStop just before it closed down. And all of these items were scored for up to 90% off. So today we'll talk about the PlayStation items. So here we have tons of PlayStation 3 games, a couple figures, and some PlayStation 4 games. And a lot of these are still brand new and still sealed. So let's go ahead and check them out. So right before GameStop actually closed, everything was 90% off, and I decided to go through all of the drawers and a lot of the different racks that my local GameStop had. And of course I picked all of the games that had the original cover art with the manuals and the game disc, as I wanted a full and complete collection here. I didn't want all of the ones with the generic GameStop cases. And a lot of these games looked pretty interesting. So of course, if there's any that you see during this pickup that are amazing games that I must play, just let me know below, as some of these I haven't played before, some I've maybe played at a couple friends' houses, and some I've briefly looked at. So of course, we'll start with some of the PlayStation 3 games. So of course, I picked up some pretty decent games and some sports titles. So most of these games were less than $1, just a few cents, so I had to add them. So of course we have this Hitman Absolution. Now I've played some of the older style games, but I haven't played this one. So this one says execution is everything. So this says see the world through the eyes of an assassin, create your own contracts and challenge the globe, hide in plain sight, improvise as necessary. So this one looked pretty interesting. And then of course I had to add this Metal Gear Solid. This is Ground Zeroes. I do have some of their collector's editions, and I don't know if I've actually played this one just yet, but this one includes everything in here as well. And then we have this Lost Planet 2 game. Now this one has some weight to it, so this is a very thick manual that's included. So I'll have to check out this game, as I don't know too much about it. It is made by Capcom. It says kill big, and just has some interesting things on here. It says 4-player co-op, so that seems pretty cool. And then this Heavy Rain game. Now this one is a great game. Not sure if any of you guys have played it who are watching, but I would definitely recommend this. It says your smallest decisions can change everything. So this is a pretty interesting game. And then we have this Operation Flashpoint Dragon Rising. So this one looks like one of those war style games. It says as close to war as you ever want to get it. So this looks pretty interesting, and I'll just have to try it out. And then of course some Jak and Daxter. So this one I scored the remastered in HD. This is the Jak and Daxter collection. Now if you do follow limited run games, you'll notice that they did make some physical copies for the PlayStation 4, but I haven't played those yet, and I love this game growing up. I love the entire franchise of Jak and Daxter. It's just a great style game, and this is also 3D compatible, so I'll have to try that out on one of my TVs that I have. So this comes with Jak and Daxter, Jak 2, and Jak 3. And then this is Borderlands, the pre-sequel. So this is great to add to the collection. And then we have this game, The Blob 2. Now I've actually played this on the Wii, so I haven't actually played it on the PlayStation 3. But it's just an interesting little wacky style game. This one's also 3D compatible as well. And then this one is Call of Juarez. So this one looks interesting. It says Bound in Blood. So this looks like one of those older style cowboy games. It says the McCalls are coming. The Old West, 1864. In order to save their family, the McCall brothers will kill anyone who stands between them and the legendary gold of Juarez. Though women and greed will test their bond as brothers, the blood they share will prove to be thicker. So this has dual collaborative gameplay. So this is pretty interesting. And then, of course, some Diablo. We have the third one. And then this game, this one looks pretty neat. It says Rogue Warrior. This one also has some weight to it. So this is a thicker manual that has a lot of useful information. It says, I am the wrathful god of combat. So this looks pretty cool. And then we have this game. This is Ace Combat Assault Horizon. And this one still had a pretty decent price tag on it. So it says Make Metal Bleed. So this one looks like a pretty interesting style air combat game. So I'm really looking forward to trying this one out. And then, of course, Enchanted Arms. Now, I do have this game on the Xbox 360. I actually have it with a cardboard insert and everything else that's included. So this is a pretty interesting game. It says unlock over 125 controllable creatures. And then I had to add Darksiders. I'm not sure I've actually played this series yet, but I do have the second one for the PlayStation 3, so I wanted to start from the beginning and add the first one. Then up next we have this Aliens game. So this one looks pretty neat. It says Fight the Fear, and then it also says the hunters become the hunted. So there is a campaign mode and a competitive mode. And then we have Blaze Blue. So this one looks like a pretty fun fighting style game. So this looks pretty neat. And then, of course, this wacky title. This one is Afro Samurai. So this one looks like a really cool game. It has this pretty cool style, drawing-esque feel to it with these characters. And it actually looks really cool because the main character has a sword. So this says, one samurai roams the land with a mission of revenge. He will never know rest until his father's blood is vindicated. So this one looks pretty fun, and I'm really looking forward to trying this game out. And then we have this Sega title, Valkyria Chronicles. So this one looks pretty interesting. It says, lead your country to victory, fight in third-person real-time battles, epic storyline filled with dramatic warfare, customize your platoon with 50 characters. And then this one actually looked really cool. This is a less expensive game already. At GameStop, it was only 99 cents, and then with the Pro member price, it's only 89 cents. This one looks really cool. It has these pretty cool skeleton characters. Everything looks pretty well designed on here. They all have some pretty crazy weapons. It says Deadman's Quest, archery, sword fighting, and throwing stars. So what could be better than that with these pretty crazy looking skeletons with all of these weapons? Definitely looks pretty neat, and I'm really looking forward to this gameplay. So it says from the creators of Sports Champions. But this looks really cool, and it's pretty inexpensive as is, and it's also 3D compatible. And then, of course, another style game. We have Ninja Gaiden, and this one is Sigma. So this one looks pretty sweet. The real reason you bought a PS3, vengeance, carnage, destruction like never before. So you battle against your enemies, and I've played some of these games in the series, and I've really enjoyed them thus far. And then we have the Spec Ops The Line. This is the premium edition. Intense and unique war shooter. And then also Crisis 3. Now I remember playing a lot of these. The first two, actually, not this one. So this is Hunter Edition. And then, of course, another fighting style game. We have this Soul Calibur 4. So, of course, with the newer released Soul Caliburs, it's always fun to go back and play some of these games. And then we have Blazing Angels, Squadrons of World War II. So this is another neat style air combat game. And then we have Dragon Age Inquisition, Lead Them or Fail. Dante's Inferno, Divine Edition. And this one actually looks really neat. And it also comes with everything that should be included in here. Then we have some Starhawk, Best Multiplayer at E3. So of course this is an older style game. Welcome to the new frontier. In the future, two factions wage war over the universe's most precious resource. Emmett Graves is a hired gun caught in the middle, facing a battle against all odds. He is the only hope for the salvation of a small town and possibly the galaxy. And then, of course, some James Bond. We have 007, Quantum of Solace, which I used to love playing a lot of these games back on the PlayStation 2 and original Xbox. So I don't think I've played them since then. And then, of course, this classic right here with the anticipated release of the new Last of Us. Here is the original, just so I can have it in my collection. And then on to some sports titles. We actually have some wrestling games. So we have SmackDown vs. Raw 2011. And we have WWE 2K17. So these will be pretty neat. I actually remember playing a lot of these wrestling games growing up. I loved playing them on the PlayStation 2 against all of my buddies, as that was a time where I watched a lot of wrestling. So it'll be pretty interesting to see some of these newer style games. Then, of course, we have some fighting games. Fight Night Round 3, Fight Night Champion, and The Fight Lights Out. This says no referee, no holds, barred, and no easy way out. So this one actually looks like a different spin on things, kind of like that street style combat. Then we have this UFC 2010 Undisputed and UFC 2009 Undisputed. And then some more sports titles: NHL 10, NHL 13, NHL 11, Madden 13. And the cool thing about a lot of these cases is they actually have like this foil effect on some of these sports games. Madden, this is 25, so this is 1989 to 2014. This is MLB 11, the show. MLB 12, the show. MLB 13, the show. MLB 14, the show. And this is the show 16. Then, of course, some DJ Hero 2 and Disney Infinity. So overall, I think I scored a pretty good amount of PlayStation 3 games. A lot of these titles I'm actually really looking forward to play, and some of these are more so filler games, but you never know, I might play them. So a lot of these PlayStation 4 games I actually waited until the end to pick up, as I got the best deal at the end. So this is The Persistence. Now this looks like a pretty cool horror style game, and this is actually required that you have the PlayStation VR. So I love those horror-esque games for that system. So this will get me into playing the VR a little bit more. And then we have this Valfaris, which looks like a really awesome game. It says skulls, gore, and metal in space. So this one has these older style graphics, and it just looks really cool. They do also have it for the Switch, but I actually had to score this one as it looks really awesome. It says, after mysteriously vanishing from galactic charts, the fortress of Valfaris has suddenly reappeared in the orbit of the dying sun. So this looks really cool. It says heavy metal infused pixel art and soundtrack. So I'm really looking forward to that. Then, of course, this Farming Simulator 15. I remember playing a lot of these games back on the cell phone, so this might be interesting. Then we have this Titanfall 2. Then Sword Art Online. So this one looks like a different style game, but it was pretty inexpensive, so I'm excited to try it out. And then some Scribblenauts Showdown. And of course, this classic, we have Shaq Fu, A Legend Reborn. So this says free additional content in here as well. So it comes with some information, and this looks like an interesting spin on the newly released Shaq Fu game, as I remember back in the day, that was a terrible game to play. So I'll try it out on the PlayStation 4. And then we have this Neo, Defy Death. And then some sealed games. So these were such an amazing deal, just a couple dollars each. This is Super Street, the game. So this looks like a pretty interesting style racing game. It says bringing back the classic arcade days. So I'll definitely have to try this out and see how the feel is. And then World War Z, I heard amazing things about this game, as just looking at it, this style looks really awesome and I can't wait to play this game. It says Outlive the Dead. And then this one looks like a pretty awesome style game. So it has all of these pixel-esque characters on it. So I'll definitely zoom in so you guys can go ahead and see this art on this particular game. This one looks so cool. It says a fast-paced bullet storm dungeon crawler that cranks the nonsense up to 11 and puts you right in the thick of it. So loot buy equipped, pixel art, unique enemies, gauntlet mode. So this looks really awesome. Then of course some Bee Simulator. So I've never seen anything like it, so I had to try it out, as I've actually heard some decent things about this game. And then right here we have Dead by Daylight. This is the Nightmare Edition, which actually has a lot of different characters. It says it includes Netflix Stranger Things chapter, and there's just some other cool style characters in here. Then we have this Risk of Rain 2, which also includes Risk of Rain. So this one looks really awesome as well. It says Risk of Rain returns with an extra dimension. Play solo or team up with up to 4 friends to fight through hordes of monsters, unlock new loot, and find a way to escape the planet. And then some more sports titles. These are still sealed. So NBA Live 18, NBA Live 14, NBA 2K14, NBA 2K18, another NBA 2K16, UFC 2, with of course we have Ronda Rousey right on the front, NHL 17, Madden 19, MLB 15 The Show, FIFA 17, FIFA 16, FIFA 15, and FIFA 14. So a lot of these games were just so inexpensive, just a couple cents each. So I had to add them to go ahead and complete my collection. Then of course they had some pretty cool style figures, so just less than $1, I had to add them. So here we have a character from Soul Calibur 6, and on the back it says First Edition, Premier Edition. So this will be pretty cool to display with some of the other fighting style game characters that I have. And then I found these pretty awesome Destiny little figures. So these are pretty neat. They'll go along with the Destiny character that I got for free when I pre-ordered the game. So overall, I'm really excited about these PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4 pickups, as I'm really looking forward to trying out a lot of these games. So if there's any that you've played that you highly recommend, go ahead and comment below and just let me know which ones. That way I'll try those games out first. But overall, I am so excited to try out some of these new PlayStation 4 games, as they look so much fun. They have a different feel to them. Some even have that retro-ish feel to them, so I'm really looking forward to that. So of course, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. Go ahead and check out my other videos and stay tuned for more.